over a little bit of contemporary issues about the diversity of the United States of America. Now, although this does not follow an exact objective, Objective 3A is all about the citizenship process. So this is a good place to use our information that we've learned in class and apply it to current events and issues happening today. It's also good because one of your essential skills is being able to interpret data and analyze it. Okay? So again, diversity. Broad issue, the idea of a mixed society, diverse sets of viewpoints and issues and beliefs. We have always been a nation where people have fled, starting way back to the Pilgrims and the Puritans and the people who escaped the persecution in Europe at the time. So again, if you look at the major changes of the United States and a huge influx of immigration, one of our greatest pinpoints of immigration occurred between 1901 and 1910. As you see, with the amount of immigrants coming into the United States, the percentages as that is. So again, a huge influx right there. And if you look at, again, that map, you have to go back and what is occurring at this time period. Europe at this time period is kind of in shambles. We're about to experience World War I at the time, or the Great War, however as you call it. So you have a large influx of people leaving parts of Europe because of people being overcrowded for lack of work, lack of jobs. A couple key terms to know the difference between. We talked about it a little bit in class: immigrate, emigrate, and migrate. But again, you get the idea, and we'll talk more about that. Your three main areas coming in the early 1800s are your parts of Northern Europe. Your more lighter hair, your fairer skin, your blue eyes. You have your, obviously, English, which were the settlers, if you look at Virginia history in Jamestown. You have your Irish, especially after what we had, the Irish potato famine. And then, of course, your Scandinavian countries, including Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway. And then, of course, as we go more towards that later period that I showed you with that bar graph, you have more of your southern European nations, including Italy, Hungary, Greece, Czech Republic. Again, a lot of countries more towards the Mediterranean area of Europe. So again, look at the major changes between 1840 and 1860, which is right around there. We're going to have our Civil War. We have a huge portion of our immigrants coming from Northwest Europe as you look at this pie chart. Now, if you analyze and compare the two charts together, look at the major change between 1880 and 1890. That shrinkage here from 93 to 61, there you have your Eastern and Southern European influx coming into the United States. Major reasons people were coming over here, whether it was work, freedom, or personal reasons to unite with family members that originally came over here because, of course, at the time, the men were usually sent to try to establish their lives and then send money back to start bringing their children over to the land of opportunity, the United States. These are just some scenes of immigration. This is a famous liner, of course, the RMS Titanic, which did have many immigrants coming over on that fateful voyage, mostly in the steerage areas who were lost at sea. But again, you see the idea, the steerage. You have, again, Ellis Island, which many of you have been to maybe in New York. This is where you have your Statue of Liberty. This is where most immigrants coming over to the United States from Europe were processed. And of course, if you came from Asian countries like China and Japan, you came into San Francisco, and this is Angel Island. Again, more immigration pictures. Again, you see the type of clothing, the children, the package of what they're carrying. Right here, you're looking at an inspection. This is just an inspection chart of the various things that they could have if they came over. Like N would stand for neck issues, H heart, B back. The inspection room. These are tenements where most ethnic Europeans came at the time. You can still go to cities like New York and see a lot of these places like Little Italy, or you can go to San Francisco and still visit Chinatown. More immigrants about the low-wage jobs that they were taking at the time. Low-wage jobs. And so again, America today, you have these two different competing viewpoints about diversity. Whether America is more or less a melting pot or a mixed salad, two different ideas about sociology, but we'll get to that later. If you look at the biggest increase this is from 2010, of where our immigrants are coming from today, this gives you an idea of the huge percentages of where they're coming from, at least when it comes to our Latino and Hispanic populations. And these are the states with the largest distribution of Latino and Hispanic Americans. California and Texas leading the way, Florida and New York, those are the big four states anyways when we talk about electoral college and vote distribution. So right there, California already has almost 25% of all immigrants coming in. All the other states are 25%. So that shows you these states. These are the population growth of the largest areas. The color coding, blue for Mexican and green for Cuban. Again, and these are the largest Hispanic populations of each state, red being Puerto Rican. So you get the idea, and the larger the circle, the larger their groups are, representing 10 million. You got your California area, Los Angeles. You got your Houston or Texas, Chicago, New York City, as you see. And of course, some people view America as a more of a mixed salad, where our ideas and our culture all kind of mix and blend together under one United States dressing, versus the melting pot says that we all come in together and our identities are lost and we gain that American identity. The salad idea, the analogy is, again, you know, every culture is a different part of the salad. Still keep your ethnic identity, but again, the dressing covered over it keeps us American. And you see major population changes, the major growth in our country. You see the West is growing, the South is growing. The parts of the country that are losing population, you have your New England and Northeast, and then of course the Midwest is also losing, versus the areas that are gaining here, down here, and over here, the population growth charts. If we look at our own states, the people, the area, again, the population changes are occurring mostly in this Northern Virginia area. There you have Prince William County right there. We're in the mix of it. So as you see, we're in the hotbed area of Virginia with major growth and changes. And look at our state breakdown. White, we're still about 69% white, about 20% African American. Latinos are the largest growing area, and right now currently about 8% of the state population. Well, I hope this helped you kind of get a a modern related sense of what immigration and how it relates to our country and state today. Again, you saw a little brief history, very brief history of immigration, and then a current makeup of both our nation and our state of Virginia. I hope this helped you and be able to conceptualize how what we have learned in Objectives 3A apply to today and our history. Thank you so much.